Welcome to the ninth grade experience. I'm your host, Chris Dutchko. As a teacher of freshmen and one of our freshman mentor committee faculty advisors, I spend a lot of my school day thinking about and helping students with the successful transition from middle school to the halls of Emmaus High School. The goal of this podcast is to give you the story of the ninth grade here at Emmaus High School through the people who live it daily, the students and staff. We will attempt to touch on the real issues and stories that ninth grade students face, ranging from academics to athletics, technical school, and just trying to find your way as one person in a community of approximately 2,700 students. We will also look to speak with some of the influential staff members who play a key part in a student's ninth grade year. It is the hope that future ninth grade students and their families can use the tips and insights provided here to begin making connections to their potential new school and learn more about the day-to-day lives of the students that they will one day become and realize from day one that ninth grade counts. You can learn more about this episode and all of the episodes of the ninth grade experience by following us on Twitter at EHSFMC or at Chris Stutchko, or following the hashtag EHS9counts, or our website, sites.google.com/eastpennsd.org/ninth grade experience. Before we jump into today's topic, let's thank our sponsor for this show, the East Penn Education Foundation. This podcast has been made possible through a $1,000 grant awarded to teachers like me each year who are attempting to do unique projects in the area of science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. The foundation supports programs that put learning in motion by giving students the tools they need to think actively in a complex and changing world. You can follow them on Facebook at EPSD Education Foundation, on Twitter at EPSD EdFound, or on Instagram at EPSD Ed Foundation. Now on to the show. Back in December and January, we introduced a new feature on the podcast where we were going to follow the freshmen who were involved in the spring musical production of Hello, Dolly. And it's time for our next check-in to see how things are progressing along. The last time we talked to everybody, we were in the middle of auditions and we were still trying to see who made the show and who didn't. So now we're about 4 to 5 weeks away from opening night, and we're going to be catching up with 3 of our guys that we talked to back in December. We're going to be talking to Mason Stelz, Dom Zientara, and Jacob Kleindinst as they were getting ready to go out and have a practice run through on the stage for one of the big dance numbers that they're all involved in. So in this episode, we'll hear how things are going, how it went for them to wait and find out that they had made the show, and kind of where things are going to go for the next couple weeks for them. Just as a reminder, if you're interested in getting tickets for the show, if you go to the Emmaus High School website, it's right there on the front. There's a big block that has Hello Dolly tickets on sale now. So let's catch up with Dom and with Mason and with Jacob as we kind of hear how things are going and how they're getting ready for the show. We're back. Welcome to this episode of the Ninth Grade Experience podcast. This is like a round 3. We're doing our check-in here for the cast here of Hello Dolly. So we're checking in with Mason Stelz, Dom Zientara, and Jacob Kleindinst. All those guys made it and have roles in the musical Hello Dolly that's going to be in March. So thanks a lot, guys, for coming back, and we're glad to catch up with you and see how it's going.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So the last time that we talked, it was in middle of December, and we had just talked to you right before or right after the auditions happened. So you had a little bit more to go, and obviously you're all still a part of the performance. So what has been going on since that audition in January or December, and now we're here at the beginning of February, and kind of walk us through what had been happening for that time.
A lot of rehearsal time.
Yeah.
I guess that's
we had a long winter break, and kind of just from there we were just so nervous over that break.
Long in terms of rehearsal time, because rehearsals
Well, not over
are
the
long.
break. We had the time, and then the cast list came out, which like
Yeah.
got rid of all of
Oh,
our nerves,
yeah.
and that
then,
was
like,
scary. Waiting for
everything
that.
That was like the
started.
end of break, the last
It was
day.
like the last day.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I know that they didn't release who was actually in the show till it was either right at the end of break, or right when you guys got back. So what was that? So you had the whole Christmas or holiday break to kind of wonder how everyone did, and then
Uh-huh.
you obviously all found out that you were a part of the show. So what was that time period like, waiting to find out?
Long.
Pretty stressful. Honestly, I kind of tried to forget about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't completely on the front of my mind all over break because
Yeah.
I was just trying to enjoy myself, really.
Is it the longest that, and I know all of you talked in the first episode about how you've all done theater in different spots. Is it the longest you've ever had to wait to find out if you were in a show?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Not
for
for
me
me.
it was.
Not for me.
Not for you?
Yeah, it was definitely very long though than what I'm used to, but it was not the longest.
Okay, so you found out right before you came back, so you're all in the show. So why don't you tell everybody a little bit about what your current role is and what you've been practicing and kind of getting yourself together doing here since you found out in early January that you made it.
So we're all in the ensemble.
Yeah.
We have different parts. I'm a chef, and the other two, Mason and Dom, are waiters.
Yeah, we all have a lot of really cool. Like, the thing about this show is it's really ensemble heavy, which is really nice for especially like us underclassmen who are basically guaranteed like an ensemble part. And so all have a lot of stage time, and based on our different skills, all have unique kind of parts. Like I have a lot of fun dancing stuff that I get to do, and we all have kind of our little moments to shine.
It is very ensemble heavy, as Mason said, but it's both vocally and like dancing heavy. So I know the main song when everybody pictures is the waiter scene, and we have most of the cast, ensemble cast, in as waiters or chefs in that scene, and a lot of rehearsal time is spent on the dances.
Yeah, or Hello Dolly, or Put on Your Sunday Clothes, all those really heavy, big dance numbers. And it's like full cast, and I can't remember the last time we've had like a rehearsal that wasn't dancing. Like every single rehearsal has been just straight up all movement.
So
a
when
lot of
you're
dancing.
so when you're talking about about how many people are on the stage for some of these dance numbers, because the ensemble is obviously more than just a couple people, but when we're talking ensemble, we're talking 10, 20, more than 20.
Like 20, like
Yeah.
17,
15, yeah.
17, yeah.
And have any of you had like dance experience with that kind of a large number of grouping before?
I have a lot of dance experience, but definitely not with as large of a group as this. It's been like a really new experience.
And did any of you wind up with a part that would be like, I guess, a singing or a speaking part in it, or just
I mean, I have one line.
okay, one line?
Yeah. Yes,
What is
my
what
name
is the
is
line?
Fitz. I'm a chef.
My name is Fitz, and I'm a chef.
Oh, no,
Oh, no.
that's not the line.
Oh, no.
I was introducing myself.
Oh,
you
what
could say.
is? So what is your line? Do you know?
I mean, yeah, it's not really a spoiler, so it's like, Rudolph, is it true? I heard someone laughing outside the kitchen window, and it sounded like, and then he cuts me off and says, yes, it is, Dolly.
So
Killing it, dude.
when we have everyone back again for our next check-in, we're gonna see if you pick it up with some more feeling there. With
Oh, yeah.
you know,
No,
get
I
it,
was just-
get a little bit more. Maybe we'll get you ready to be more in character on that go around there.
Yes.
So you have one big line. We won't spoil when it is, but if you're going to the show in March, you'll just have to be waiting out for the chef and his big line. Are there
Oh, yeah.
multiple chefs, or are you the only chef?
There are 4 chefs.
So it'll be a surprise as to which chef has the line. Do all the chefs have a line?
The other guys with lines in that part are waiters, but they should be chefs.
Oh.
Yeah.
So a little bit of a spoiler there. If you know the musical, you may
Wow,
know a little bit
Jacob.
about that, but we'll have to pry a little bit more as we kind of as we get a little bit closer. So when you're preparing, so right now the guys are getting ready. In about 5 minutes, they have to go out and go do rehearsals. But so when you leave here to go to rehearse, what is that looking like, and what will you all be doing?
Oh, well, so today and pretty much every day, I know half the time we start off with reviewing the songs that we sing, because most people are divided into different voice sections. So we review that a bunch at the beginning of rehearsals. And then most of the other time is spent dancing, and I know today is our first day dancing on the stage. So there's gonna my first day. I think you guys have danced on the stage.
Mason has.
I have, yeah.
Some of us have danced on the stage, but this is the first day doing it with a set. So it's
Yeah,
going to
the
be
set is
interesting to
finally like it's not
finished.
completely done, but it's there.
So what is
Structured.
Yeah.
so what's the difference going to be? Like before this, you've been practicing without the set. So what is that going to bring to the rehearsal today? Like what is that going to mean, or how do you have to prepare differently now, or like how are you preparing before with?
We've been practicing in either the locker commons or mostly the chorus room, just running things nonstop, different sections. And this is finally going to be a really big moment for us because we're all going to be putting it together, and it's going to take a while because it's spacing, new placement of things. There's a new big, large set in the way that we have to maneuver everything around. So it's one of those things that we're just going to have to adapt to.
So just how long, if you know the answer to this, how long are you going to be on stage for? Do you know how long you're? So you have how
Like
many
today?
How many dance numbers or how many scenes in the musical are you involved in?
At least 3.
So at least
Maybe 4.
I think
It's
all of
gonna
us-
be a good bit.
All of us are at least 3 large numbers, and then we each have maybe 1 or 2 extra small things.
So guessing the amount of time you're on the stage, more or less than 15 minutes.
I would say around that time.
Yeah.
So for
A little bit more, yeah.
Yeah.
So for 15 minutes of stage time, about how many hours of practice do you think
lot.
that's going to be?
It's going to be.
a
It's
lot.
already been a lot.
It's already been so much.
So we're in the middle of February. What has practice looked like so far?
Spent how many hours a day? 3 hours a day?
3 hours a day, basically every day. Just kind of doing our thing, working up. Mostly in the chorus room we've been doing, and it's been really fun. I've been really enjoying it, especially hanging out with the new people who, since this is our first year here at the high school, just working with a bunch of new, creative, talented people, and yeah.
And last question here. So you're some of the only freshmen that kind of made it into this part. What has it been like being a freshman so far, being a part of the musical? Have you been welcomed? Has it been still trying to find your way? I know in that first episode we talked a lot about not wanting to step on anyone's toes, but also wanting to kind of establish yourselves in the theater department. So what has it been like for you all, kind of getting acclimated to this to the musical here?
Kind of I know for me, probably for you guys too, but we aren't treated like freshmen. We're treated as part of the whole cast. So, and in the cast, everyone's important. If one person messes up, then you either have to try to help them or just keep going. So everyone's kind of treated equally when we're in the dance ensemble or voice ensemble.
Yeah, and going along with that, you have to know your place to be treated like that. That's the biggest thing, is just don't step on anyone's toes. Just kind of stay in your own space. Don't talk out. Don't do anything that would make you
It's pretty much just be respectful.
be respectful is the
Yes.
biggest thing, especially for freshmen.
And literally, you can't step on anyone's toes while you're
Yeah,
dancing.
yeah.
Oh, haha. Yes.
Yes, zing.
Full circle.
A good zinger there. So, last question here. So, what has been? You had this experience. You were coming into it. You were all really nervous. Even you said before that we started recording, you just feel entirely different being here this time than the last time. You were also nervous. So, where are you guys at with being a part of the show? And when do you think the nerves will kind of pick back up to kind of get ready for the performance? Or will they? Or by the time you're there, it's hey, I've done this for 15 hours a week for the last 8 weeks. I think I got this.
I mean, we only have 4 weeks until opening.
4 weeks.
A month. So that means 3 until Tech Week.
Mhm.
I mean,
Yep.
nerves are probably going to pick up closer to the end of Tech Week. But at the same time, we're going to be so excited because we've been working so hard on this. It's going really well. We're going to want to show to everyone.
There's always that opening night, bam, you're nervous, but the excitedness and adrenaline is taking over, and no matter how much you rehearsal, you're always going to have that, and that's one of the great things about this rehearsal process and then going into just theater in general.
Yeah, the excitement, it will help you do better. It's kind of a good thing and a bad thing at the same time, but it really makes opening night special.
All right, so we got to get you out of here, get you onto the stage here, where Mrs. Keebler is going to come find us, and I don't know what's going to happen. So thanks a lot, guys, for checking in, and we'll catch up with you in a few weeks to kind of see where you're at leading up to showtime. So thanks a lot.
Yes.
Thank
Thank
you.